Fellas, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, fellas, good morning. As you guys come into the room, just kind of say good morning. Let me know who's in here so I know who I'm talking to. NQ's down 28 points, which is essentially flat. But what I'm looking at here, 1 hour time frame, I'm still looking at these lows that we put in the pre-market, right? So I'm looking at these lows here, which is 15,329, somewhere in that area. The 330s is what I'm looking for. Cody, Tim, John, Burks, what's going on, fellas? What's going on? I've also got Tesla pulled up here. Tesla's pulled back in the pre-market. We've kind of lost this linear regression as well as these bottom two SMAs here. So that low that we have here on Tesla is going to be around 268.30s. What's up, Sammy? What's up, Manuel? What's up? Welcome in. What I'm looking at here on Tesla is going to be the 268.26 level. If the market pulls, right? If the market pulls, so here's how I always kind of analyze and I look at things, especially this early in the session, right? You guys know that I'm going to be looking at the first 30-minute highs and the first 30-minute lows. The reason why is because that's the first opening range candle. So that first opening range candle, I want to see what high do we put in, what low do we put in, and do we confirm continuation of that direction, right? So Tesla's pulling back a little bit more here. Tesla is below the pre-market lows here. It's also below Friday's lows, 270.80. Tesla still has some room to the downside. Now we've got the triple Qs, the NASDAQ kind of pushing higher here as Tesla's making this low. So we're a little bit disconnected, right? A little bit disconnected as Tesla sinks and the NASDAQ is rising. So again, this 268 level is going to get adjusted once more here down to 268.01. Again, if you're looking at a 5-minute time frame on the NQ, remember, I kind of posted up, maybe 5 minutes ago that we were in an active long position here. Our 20 SMA play set up at 6:10 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, kind of bounced around, consolidated, and now we've shot up. If by any chance, and I know a lot of you guys don't play the pre-market session, if by any chance you're long on NQ right now and you got in on this 20 play, or maybe even you got in a little bit late, take some profits, please. Take some profits. The last thing that we're going to want to do here is expect this to continue and have it reverse and give back gains. So again, if you are long, make sure you guys are taking some profits on the NQ. Now I know that the setup came in the pre-market, right? Came in the pre-market at 610. However, those of you guys who wanted to get in potentially, off the open, right? If you did get in, maybe even through 356 or maybe even 365, right? Take some profits. That's all I'm going to say. Move your stop loss into profit here. I would probably put my stop loss below this 5 SMA at around 76, and just kind of let the son of a bitch ride. Okay, that's what I would do if you're long. Again, I don't know if anyone's long. I know a lot of us don't trade the pre-market session. I'm just kind of throwing that out there if you are in. If I look at the ES, it's the same kind of deal as well, right? So we got that 610 setup. We confirmed at 6:15 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. That entry price was somewhere around 94, 95, and we're currently trading at 99. So if you're a 3, 4, 5 point ES trader and you are in this play that started in the pre-market, take some profits, okay? Move your stop loss, below 97. That's what I would do. That's how I would manage that personal trade if I was in it, right? Again, I don't really catch a lot of the pre-market plays. I kind of wait for the market to set up, but hey, some of us like to scalp the levels, and the level is valid, right? The level is valid. So as of right now, what we would be looking at on the ES, if we kind of look at this hour chart here, the previous hour chart on the ES has a little bit of a reversal type of action, right? We've been looking at these a lot more, right? As you guys, the longer you guys stay in this room, the more setups you guys start to see that we can play, with some consistency. So the hour candle is a little bit of a reversal. We had no continuation through 44.86, and now we're bouncing. So what I would be looking for here on the ES, we are getting rejected at the 10 and 20-day moving average on the 1 hour time frame. I would like to see the ES for, more room to stretch over 45.02. That would be taking us over the 20 SMA with room to 45.06. So if we're going to take this type of play, we want to anticipate that we're going to get rejected in this area and be taking profits into the 200 on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so that's how we kind of want to look at it. If we're looking at the short on the ES, I would like to see us get below at least 44.85 with room to 44.86. But again, these are pre-market levels here. If we really start to lose 44.86, this will be your next level here. That exact price is sitting, as close as I can see here with my two eyes. Again, my eyes are not perfect. I'm not perfect, but 44.86.70s, right? 44.86.70s. So you took the ES play at 550 on a 5 minute time frame, I'm assuming. Okay, on a 5 minute time frame, I'm assuming 550 short. You took this short. John, did you take this short? I got a 550 setup short. Okay, 44.92s. I see no reason why you would have been stopped out. Hold on, let me continue with the play. 5 minute long at 550. There's no long setup there. There was no long setup at 550. No, there was no long setup at 550. If you were looking at 545 as your reason why candle, 550 never confirms long. Never confirmed long. 540 candle. 540 candle. 540 candle never closes above the 20 SMA. 540 candle never closes above the 20 SMA. 545 candle does confirm over the 20 SMA. However, 550 candle never confirms long, so there was no long setup. If anything, 555 gave you a long setup that, yes, got stopped out. 555 gave you a long setup that got stopped out. You would have been entering closer to 6 a.m. though. And then the 6 a.m. candle gave you a setup short. Again, in the pre-market, it does this shit. It does up, down, up, down, up, down in the pre-market session. So you kind of have to give it, a little bit more space to really see if it's going to confirm or break down. Again, like that's what I'm saying. The on the ES, the 610 candle sets up long. How did we know that it wasn't going to turn around and go against us? Good, Aaron, if you're in Tesla 267 puts, you're going to want to be taking profits on this move down here, getting a nice move down through the 268s. You're going to want to take some profits on the way down when you start to get into some green here, okay? So that we're putting in the opening range here. So if we're short, example on Tesla, I'm getting away from the ES trade, but if we're short on Tesla, this is the opening range being put in. The last thing I want to see have happen to people is we put in that opening range and you're in on the bottom of it and then it gets sucked back up, right? And then that's the bottom, and we need like 30 more minutes, or 20 minutes at this point in time to kind of confirm. So if you can manage to take any scalp, any type of profits, I would take them. And then we're going to get that next setup at 7 o'clock, which is going to either confirm or start the move on a bounce. Going back to the ES plays, so there was a time here, yes, maybe where you could have gotten stopped out, but the time you gave me, there was no setup. 540, I mean, there was no setup, because 540 candle for me closes below the 20 SMA and 545 never closes under, so there was no setup. Break even on Tesla. You're out of Tesla already. If you're out of Tesla already, that's too soon. That's too soon. There's no reason to be out of Tesla on the short side. There's no reason to be out of Tesla on the short side. It's below the Bollinger Band and it's below the 5 SMA, and it's also just kind of working its way down. If you're out on Tesla, I don't know when you got in, but for example, the level was 268 and we're trading at 267.02. There's no reason to be out on Tesla if you were short. Okay? Patience. You have to have patience. Don't expect to get into the move and you were in at 634, which is 634. Okay, why not wait till 635? Why not wait till 635? So if you were in at 634, you were in on this bounce. However, this doesn't even take out your 1 bar stop or get over the 5 SMA. I still see no reason to get out of Tesla short. If you were short, there was no reason. Now you're using a 2-minute chart, okay? So that might be the case, but if you're using a 2-minute chart, why not flip to the 5 and see? Why not flip to the 5 and see where you're at? Even on a 2-minute chart, this 636 candle bounces and it closes over the previous candle and the 5. But look at the move. The move is down. The move is down. I mean, 268 to 270. You gotta give that thing room. This is you know, it's down. It's just we cannot get out of plays just because we get 1 green bar against us, guys. You have to give it room. It's below every single level of supply here. It's being pushed down. It's being pushed down. We can't, like, if we get in here, right? If we get in here on this candle and we go sideways and then we start to bounce, that doesn't mean, the play's over to start panicking. Guys, it's not just going to go, if you get in on this candle, it's not just going to go straight down. It's not just going to go straight down. We have to start learning that. Like, it's not going to go straight down. Like, it's gonna go down, up, a little bit down, and then back up, and then it's gonna be choppy. It's a wave system. So if you're getting in, where the hell? Let me see where the fuck this 630. This is a 632 candle. It doesn't even take out a 1 bar stop, Aaron. Your 1 bar stop is here, right? Like, your 1 bar stop is here. So look at where we're at. We haven't even taken out our original candle. You know, that's frustrating because that's a hell of a play. You would have made some good money on that. We're trading at 266 and your entry was in the 269s, 268s. Your 1 bar stop is here over the 20. Even if you wanted to give it tighter room, maybe we can say that it was the 10. That was a good move. See, some of you guys are seeing plays correctly. You're just panicking. Don't panic. Don't panic. Put size on that you can handle. Like, put size on that you can handle. Like, how many Aaron, full disclosure, we need to fix, not mistakes, because you're still new, but like, how many contracts did you take? How many contracts did you take on Tesla? Start to think about, well, Aaron, start to think about exit. We were down $1. And how much was the premium on that one contract? I haven't looked at the options chain yet. When I'm saying start thinking about profits, that's not to panic you guys. What's that's meant to do is to, guys, the move's going in your favor. So as you start to go green on the contracts and you start to see the P&L go green, start thinking about taking profits. Means we want to take money when we're in the green, not money when we're bouncing against us, when we're still under supply. How much was that contract, Aaron? Please let me know, because I want to make a very valid point. The ES is going to look to confirm the 5-minute lows, guys. Previous 5-minute SMA play. Okay, $500 or so. So Aaron, are you comfortable with $500 of risk, right? If you were to lose half of that, are you comfortable with a $250 loss? If you're not, you can't play Tesla. Okay, you can't, because this bounce, right? So this bounce here, if this bounces and you go down, and yeah, so if this bounce is gonna scare, like, okay, how much? Damn it! Look at the fucking move on Tesla. What I'm trying to say is that if you're in around $550, right? If you're not prepared to lose $200 or $300 of that, you can't trade it. And if you are, were you even down $200 or $300 on this play? Like, I would find that hard to believe that it was down $200 or $300. Like, we got to understand the names that we're playing. Look at the move. We got to understand the names that we're playing. This is one green candle bounce on a 2-minute time frame at that. Like, that's still under all of the supply. And it didn't ever take out the 1 bar stop. Taking profits means start to take profits as we flush down. The level was 268. We're trading at 264. It is what it is. I mean, Everyone's still like, we're still learning, we're still getting used to the way that these things move, but that's nothing, Aaron. On Tesla, that's nothing. It's a cup of coffee on Tesla. That's nothing. That's nothing. If we're gonna play Tesla, man, we gotta be prepared to lose 200-300 bucks, $400 on a contract. You know, we gotta be ready. We gotta be ready for that. We have to really let the charts tell us to get out. We have to really let the charts tell us to get out. Because even like, I would have flipped to the 5 minute and see what are we doing in the 5 minute. The 5 minute was just fucking down. It's just not. Well, it's okay, and we'll get it back. You know, you said you broke even. We'll get it back. Let's just, for next time, you know, let's work on holding it longer. Let's work on not getting out as soon as we get one candle that bounces on us. Unless the candle's like significant or we're taking out a bunch of levels. But don't think about that. Don't think about that. You also what on the video? What about in the video? I don't understand what you said. I also may be 110 on the video. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming you made 110 on the video. Is that what you're saying? Okay, great. And on Tesla, you lost 75 or you broke even? Come on, come on. I'm going back to the NQ chart for you NQ traders over here. We've got rejected at the linear regression. Break even. Okay, so you're up $110. We don't then, if you're up $110, we're not even going to analyze this Tesla trade. We're not even going to fucking worry about it. You're in the green for the day. We build on that. We build on that. Let's not worry about the Tesla trade. Don't worry about that. You'll make some more money right now. That's perfect. That's fine. That's good. I mean, you made money on one. Also, good job, Penguin. Penguin made some money on the Tesla puts, 265 puts. Yeah, we're not going to analyze that Tesla trade. Let's just focus on a little bit more patience. That's all I'm going to say for that trade. It's just a little bit more patience. Understand it's Tesla. Understand it moves a lot. That's fine. You'll be back. If you're already in the green, right? Let's just build on that. I know what you're saying. I know you have the classic, every trader has it, emotional attachment to money. I made money here. If I lose on this trade, I'm going to give back my profits and I'm going to go red. That's going to cause, you know, that can cause all sorts of fucking problems, meaning start causing us to revenge trade, start causing us to overtrade, start causing us to be emotionally confident broken because we did that. I get it. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But don't think that way. Don't think that way. Don't think that way, because you don't want that to screw with your head. If you would have lost and gave back the $100, we find another trade. We'll find another one. You just have to play your setups and respect the probabilities. Addy's posting some cash here. He made some money. I can't really see here on my screen. Tesla puts. Good job for Addy. So we're looking at NQ here, guys. We're looking at NQ. We got rejected here at this upper Bollinger Band. The Bollinger Bands are contracting, right? The Bollinger Bands are contracting. We're going to get ready for a move. Either it's to the high side or the low side. Again, we don't know, but right now we're at the top of the range. We're at the top of the range. We're at the top of the range here. So what I would be looking for realistically on the NQ, I'd like to see us confirm the opening range. If we can confirm the opening range here over this hour candle's high, we've got some room to stretch, and we're probably gonna have some room to stretch into the 480s. Into the 480s would be the next level that I would be looking to. That's right here at the 200 SMA, right? If we can see this yellow line on my screen, this 200 SMA would be potential where if we do confirm, right? If we do confirm the first hour highs, I would look to take profits into this zone, okay? Into this zone. For the short position, I still want to lose 15,329. I just do. The only other setup that I would look for here is maybe below 15,388, which is your 5 SMA. Again, that's going to continue to rise if this price rises. But right now we're at the top of the range. Let's look for the confirmation over this level back to the high side. Again, getting a little bit of, remember those plays we were working on last week, you know, reversal candlesticks, so forth and so forth. So let's look at Tesla. We got the nice flush, right? If we were in short through the 266, you know, it went down to 264. Again, I'm looking for $1.52 on Tesla. So if you made $1.52 on Tesla, you know, we should have been taking those profits now. And if anything, have a break even runner. What I would look for here on Tesla, we're getting this green taking out red. If you get an aggressive bounce here, the low of day is your stop loss, right? The low of day is your stop loss. These are those reversal bounces that we see here. That does not mean that this is the low of day on Tesla, but what it means is that we could get a little bit of relief, right? We could get a little bit of a relief bounce that can allow us to make $1.50 on a trade. And potentially, if we get that, we can sell out and then look for the short when we do confirm short, right? Because as of right now, we're going to need to confirm the opening range lows before we can take a new short position. So again, just for context, 5 minutes. I trade NQ on the 5 minute is how I manage my trade on the NQ. However, I'm looking at hourly levels, right? So on the NQ, for example, on a 5 minute time frame, we're, you know, again, we're in an active long. If we took this last setup at 6:10 Pacific Standard Time, this is an active long, okay? Now, again, I know a lot of people don't trade the pre-market session or not around or not even looking at the screens of pre-market session. That's fine. So what I'm saying is just understand it's in an active long. However, it's getting rejected at supply. Both times at this linear regression supply, we put in the high wick over that. We came down, we consolidated, we back tested the 20 SMA. We tried to test it again. Lower high, we're rejected again for the second time. If you notice here, like look at the 2 wicks, we're rejected the second time there. So from a 5 minute time frame, if one was long, they should be taking profits because we're at the top of supply. If one is not long and you're just looking at the charts, I need on after 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is the first hour candle, I would need to confirm 15,435 long. You know, 15,435 long. Then we have space. I would want to be in that position using maybe, you know, one of these trailing SMAs as a stop. You know, maybe the 420s or, you know, something like that. We'll have to see what that setup is if it comes. But to the short side, what I would need to see on a 5 minute time frame is the loss of the 20 SMA, which is somewhere around 15,372 or 15,329, which is the pre-market session lows. I would need to see something like that happen. Okay. But I'm gonna look at the hourly chart to make sure I've got room in that trade. Okay. That's why I focus on the hourly chart as I'm looking at it intraday, because I want to know the big levels. And especially on the first 30 minutes of the morning, I want to see what the range is. What are we doing here? What's the range, right? What's the highs? What's the lows? And if we can confirm after 7 a.m. for me, Pacific Standard Time, I want to see, can we continue the confirmation of that range in that direction? That's all I'm looking for. Right now, if we do pull back, we're in the middle of the range because the range is 15,329 to 15,435. So we're in around a 100-point range, give or take. So I like to see us get out of the range. Notice the Bollinger Band starting to contract here. We're going to get a move. When we get outside the move here, we're going to make some money. So right now, be patient. We have 4 minutes that's going to before the next hour candle can be confirmed. So, you know, I wouldn't look to take a trade in the next 4 minutes. I'm going to wait. Like on the NQ, I'm saying on the NQ. again, just for training purposes here, remember last week how we talked about the reversal candlesticks, green taking out red or vice versa, red taking out green, depending on where the move is going. If we look at Tesla, right? If we look at Tesla, exhaustion moved down. Why is this freaking dot so big? Exhaustion moved down, right? Okay, this is how I'm analyzing in real time. Exhaustion moved down. Low of day being set. No new low continuation, right? Bounces. If green takes out red, potential long. Okay, this is how I analyze it. Potential long here. Low of day as a stop. And then you just fucking sit until you take money where you're comfortable at because you're comfortable with those profits, or we lose the low and you get physically stopped out. If one, right? If one, because I need to talk in theory around here, just safe. If one took a long position on this reversal, right? 266.60s maybe is an entry, even if you're in late, 266.80s, and we're currently trading at 267.20s. So we're up about 75 cents a dollar. It is pulling back right now currently, but I mean, it went up maybe about 80 cents to a dollar, almost touched a dollar. But again, if the breakdown spot was 268, so also analyze things in real time, fellas. If the breakdown spot for the short was 268, where did we just bounce to? Around 268 again. So if Tesla does some shit like this where it gets rejected at our original breakdown spot and comes down, I would look for the new short position through the day's lows. Again, Tesla's down $7.5 fucking dollars here, so you're not going to expect too much, right? You don't want to like try to fucking reach for the skies here. There might just be a little bit of a scalp position if you can just get green. But if Tesla gets back over 268, that reversal bounce looks pretty good, right? Like if one was sitting in it. I'm going to scan some other stocks, guys, just to kind of see where we're at on some of the other ticker symbols. Nvidia gave, did anyone take Nvidia long on a 5-minute play? Nvidia over 430.90 went all the way to 435. I would have taken profits into that level of supply. That was a hell of a move. Was no one watching Nvidia today? No one seen that? 6:45 a.m. we had a 20 play. Same thing with AMD. 6:40 we had a 20 play long. After the 20 play short was. Okay, I want to make a point on this. So notice this AMD play, how it's set up short, and your 1 bar stop would be over here, over 101.50s, right? We don't need to give it that room. We don't need to give it that much room, essentially, right? Because we don't want to be stupid. This is we don't need to be stupid. Even though this confirmed, it came down to the Bollinger Band. When this thing starts to get back over the 20, the 10, and the 5, I would just get the fuck out. So I would get the fuck out here, right? Excuse my language, guys. I just when I'm trading, I just fucking let everything fly off the tongue. When we get back over the 5, 10, or 20, I'm going to say, this play is not no good. I'm not even going to worry about it. It could continue down, but for me, my trading style, I don't mess around with that kind of shit. Your max pain would be here, 1 bar stop. So again, even on this play, confirmed short is bouncing. Never took out your 1 bar stop. It could still come down, but I probably would have taken the loss on it in these 2 candles. Just because I don't like to really F around with it, However, it came back and set up a long play and it went up a little bit. So, if we look at 100 all the way into 101, I mean, that was a hell of a play. Dollar bounce here on the reversal candlestick. Green taking out red, right? Even though this candle's green here, this is still a red candle because it hasn't taken out a previous candle. So green taking out red, get long. Is that options players? What are we looking at? What are we looking at and what levels? Where are my options, guys? What are we looking at? And what levels are we looking at? I'm gonna go start looking at the first hour highs and lows. Damn, Apple had a big spike off the open, no? Apple had a big spike off the open through pre-market highs. Did anyone take Apple long through pre-market highs? This son of a gun here over 176.65 on the first 5 minute candle shot up over $1. Did anyone take Apple by a chance? Jeez. That's another thing also, guys. You know, one thing that I want everyone to start doing in this room is to start identifying your own levels. Don't wait for me, right? Don't wait for anyone else who you know trades the same thing as you to be like, hey, there's a play here, guys. Because you'll always be late, right? Which is why I strongly, strongly, strongly disagree with, a lot of the other education programs that are out there as far as, Discords or, whatever groups that are out there that just give levels and it's like, hey, look at me, hey, follow me, because you're going to be late and you're going to lose money more than you're not. And why I say that is because you don't know where that trader, whoever you're learning from, the educator, is. You don't know where they want to take profits. One, you don't know how much size is on the table for them. Two, and by the time they type it out, or by the time they alert it, you're going to be behind. So then you have to pull up that name. You have to look for the contract. You're just late, right? So we want to identify levels. I'm here to confirm levels and put eyes on things. But if you guys are looking at something and you have a level, throw it out there so we can all kind of see what's going on with that level, right? And then, if there's something, severely off with the level that you're looking to play, then yeah, maybe we can say that. But Bollinger Band the same as a 20 SMA, or do you have some weird shit going on in your charts? Yeah, you're talking about the middle Bollinger Band. Sometimes that middle Bollinger Band matches up with the 20 SMA. Yeah. Yeah, just disregard the middle one. I'm only looking at the upper one, and I'm looking at the bottom one. Yeah, yeah. The middle one is the 20 SMA. It's like the 20 SMA. So yeah, just disregard the middle one. When I talk about Bollinger Bands, Aaron, I'll never reference the middle one. I'm referencing the range, like the top of the range one and the bottom one. I don't really give a shit about the middle one, because we got the 20 right there. Yeah, yeah, I see that, Burks. That's a good level. It's a good level. I like that level. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Sometimes, like, cause right now on NQ, my Bollinger Bands is literally on top of the 20 SMA. Yeah, so yeah, disregard that middle one. I mean, there's probably even a way to take it off and the midline. Yeah, see, like can I take this off? I don't even think I can take it off. I'm sure there's probably a way you can take it off. But anyways, the point being, yeah, the middle one is the 20 SMA. Microsoft below 20. How much space do we have? So like if we get that play below the 20, how much space do we have now? Let's see. I'll go to the hourly chart and I'll kind of see how much space we got. Yeah, we're below the 5 SMA. Yeah, it looks okay. It's okay. Let's see what it does here. It needs to confirm. It would need to confirm like 328.60s and then potentially, right, have room to the lower Bollinger Band, maybe 327.70s. But again, it could also be a setup like this. It could also be a setup like this, Aaron. Little pop off the bell, right? Little back test, higher low for a continuation to the upside. So that move back up to the upside really would get invalidated if we do start to lose this 20 SMA and start to push down towards the 327s. That up move would kind of be invalidated. Then you'd look for another bounce down here. Yeah, so just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. I haven't traded Microsoft contracts in a couple of weeks. Yeah, probably in a couple of weeks. Just sometimes Microsoft moves like too slow for me. It's like too like choppy, too up and down, up and down, up and down. Same thing with Google. I don't really like trading Google ever either, but you got to respect the levels. I mean, look at what Google did. Look at what Google did off the bell. Confirmed pre-market highs and only ran up $1.50. That's nice. Tesla's still consolidating sideways here. NQ's pulling back a little bit. NQ's pulling back a little bit, guys. So we're in the new hour candle here. So we would be focusing on hour candles that are confirming highs or lows. And if we're in the middle of the range, we're going to kind of leave them alone. So again, for those of you guys who are playing, here's something that you guys can also focus on. For those of you guys who are looking for these 5-minute 20 SMA plays, if you look at your hourly chart and we're trading in the middle of the range, meaning we haven't taken out the highs and we haven't taken out the lows yet of the first hour candle, but you're getting a 5-minute play inside of that, understand you're trading inside of a range. So you're not looking for a whole lot of moves at all. Like you're looking for like scalps, and understand that if you get stopped out, it's not because, you know, it's a bad trade. It's because you're trading inside of a range. So it's just pitter pattering up and down, up and down. I really like the plays where we're confirming a 5 SMA play, long or short, and we're taking out like the opening range highs or lows. I love those plays, that first hour high and low, and it's being correlated with the 20 play. Those tend to go a little bit more. But when you get like a 20 SMA play and we're just sitting dead center in the middle of the hour candle range, that first hour candle, those plays generally tend to suck, in my opinion, and just from the trades that I've taken. I really, after the first 30 minutes, if I didn't go long or short, which like today, you know, I didn't really take anything off the bell. I want to see us go. I want to see us confirm the range, because if not, all it's telling me is we're just consolidating, right? The only play that I got interest in right now is this Tesla reversal. That's it. The little bounce play here. Okay, that's it. Again, like I said, I outlined this play, right? You know, I mean, it's like right here. The low was being put in, a little bit of reversal, green taking out red. We're kind of bouncing. We're getting trapped here at this 267, 66 level, which is a 10 SMA. I like to see Tesla, you know, when it breaks that, that's where profit taking should be going on, because for the sheer fact that you should be long here, right? Where I drew this white line, you should be long here. This is your stop. We're just fucking around here, going sideways. Now we're trading into the 10 SMA here. I need to see this break into this range, this initial range that we lost, the 278s. You know, that break through the 278 could potentially be good. You know, that's going to give you a little bit of breath that you can take some profits on. Keep an eye on that NQ approaching the top of the range now. God damn. Here we get that break over 268, guys. Is anyone in that reversal candlestick, guys? I'm going to start getting animated now here. I'm starting to, you know, I was on vacation this weekend. I'm coming back to normal here. Did anyone get in on the Tesla reversal, guys, that I've been talking about? Did anyone take that? I've been trying to outline these plays as much in real time as possible, so we can kind of figure that out. Meaning, you know, we can kind of start to identify these levels on our own. Did anyone by a chance take that? If you did, or if you didn't, excuse me, if you didn't mentally, this is where I'm starting to lock in half size, okay? Mentally, this is where I'm starting to lock in half size. And then I'm going to hold some runners to see if we can continue over 268. And when we start really putting in a high over 268, if we do that, I will sell some more, right? And if we start to lose the 5 SMA, I'm just going to cut my position. So that's how I'm going to manage this, right? I want you guys to kind of see that as well, because your entry should have been somewhere here around 266.50s. We shot up to 268. If I'm only looking for $1.50, you know, $2 on Tesla, well, guess what? I hit my you know, my level once, you know, and then I'm going to sell on the next level that gets touched, which again, you know, I would look for something closer into 269, but Tesla's reversing a little bit here. If this back test 266.78, which is a 5 SMA, and it loses that, I would get out of the trade. NQ's working to the high side here, trying to attempt to test these first hour highs. Now, if the NQ can get over these first hour highs here, we can see some good bounces on some names in tech, right? We can see some bounces on some names in tech. So again, you know, if you're looking at like something like AMD, we would just put in a new high on AMD. Fucking Andre, you should have been out of that play already. I would hope that you are. What else? The Nvidias, right? The Nvidias of the world. We were in an active long since 645 here. So if anyone's in that, you know, if you start getting that confirmation into the 37s and 38s, this is where you want to take profits, guys. You want to be taking profits. You're in Nvidia long, okay? You're in Nvidia long. So yeah, we're at a level of supply on the 5. Our next area of supply. Oh, I thought you were in AMD. Why the fuck did I think you were in AMD? You're just throwing that out there, the AMD 9945. Yeah, if you're in Nvidia long, yeah, we should be taking profits. I don't know when you got in, but I don't know when you got in. But you should definitely think about taking some gains. Tim, are you in here? Tim, you're looking for those Apex codes? Tim, are you in here? Yeah, if you're looking for an Apex code, buddy, just keep this in mind. You don't ever need a special code. Like right now, they're running that 80% off deal, right? You don't need to use like some crazy code. Their codes that they generate are fucking generic. It's just save 80. That's it. It's save 80 when they have their 80% sale, and it's save 90 when they have their 90% sale. So you don't ever need to like search around and you know, sign up through someone's a fucking affiliate link or anything like that. It's just save 80 or save 90. But yeah, I mean, right now, I think their 50K combines are going for like, I don't know, 29, or the 25K is like $29, and I think the 50K is like $36 or $37. So what I would personally do is think to yourself, how much do I want to drop on these SOBs, right? How much do I want to drop on them? Set a balance and buy that many contracts. You want to spend $100? Go buy 3 of them, right? Or 4 if you can squeeze it. And then just kind of trade them all separately. Meaning take a trade on one account, whether it's a winner or loser, your next trade goes on your next account, blah, 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 so forth and so forth. Unless you're a little bit experienced with the copy trader, like Burks, he copy trades his trades. Unless you go that route, then, you know, you can go that route. But if you just like on a sale like that, I mean, at least try to snag 2, Tim. At least try to snag 2 or 3, just because it's so cheap, you know. It's like, that way you kind of spread out your risk, and that way you try to spread out your risk, and you spread out your risk. Hold on one second. I'm trying to see the new high here on the NQ. I think it's like 40. It's like 440s, 438. That way you kind of spread out your risk, and what it does mentally is it allows you to not get so emotional. 439. Okay, thanks. It allows you to not get so emotional, like when you lose a trade, because you know you have 2 or 3 more, and you can kind of spread out the risk. That's the only reason why. Guys, is anyone in that Tesla bounce on the reversal? Start thinking about taking profits. If you're in the bounce, let me clarify that. If you're in the bounce from anywhere in the 266s, start thinking about taking profits now. If you're in the bounce and if Tesla was in the 266s, this is where you're going to take some profits. Okay, your potential is 269, but again, we don't have to do that. That's just the space that we're trading in here. Our 5-minute support is 267, which is break even, and then if we lose 266.90s, then that's an out. That's an out. Again, on the contracts for the Tesla bounce, just for reference here, right? They were trading at the 267.50s around this bounce play here, around 266.50. The 267s that were $1 out of the money, which was the closest you can probably get unless you went 265s in the money, were trading at around 560. Okay, they were trading around $5.60. And right now they were trading just before this, like in this active candle, they were as high as $6. So that was 60 cents, right? No, I do not, Aaron. They were 60 cents because the 50% retracement, is honestly going to put me on my 20 SMA. They were trading as high as $6. Right now they're trading at $5.85, so they're still up around $50, or excuse me, $25. So that's telling you that this bounce play here gave you 25 currently or $40. So you would just times that times however many contracts you play. So if you play 10, you were up at one point around $400. So again, you know, this bounce here produced $40 per contract. So that's all you would have to do. That's all you would have to do. You know, again, is $40 on one contract a lot of money? No, but is this an easy trade where you can pick off $40? Sure, why the hell not? The market wants to give me $40 a contract. I'm gonna take it, right? Like I'll take it. And if I would have lost, you know, maybe I would have, probably lost like $60, $70 a contract. But again, that's where being comfortable with the risk. Yeah, so these contracts are currently trading at around 580s, somewhere around there. It's moving around right now because it's pulling back. But Aaron, to your point on the fibs, that would be a pretty good profit taking zone, right? 50% retracement, because I don't really use the fibs just because I got so much other crap going on my screen, right? In the zones, the areas, not to the penny, but the areas are going to be pretty much the same. What I do is, I've been doing this for so long, and you guys will get to this point too. All we have to do is let's look at the down move, right? Look at my screen, look at the down move, look at the retracement. Is it 50%? Is it around 50%? Yeah, maybe 40-50%, I would say, 40-ish percent. This is like a 40% back test here. 50% really looks like the 20 to me. But again, you're saying that the fibs is saying 268, and what to my eyes looks like around closer to 269. But again, I mean, this is the same thing. Look at the down move, look at the bounce. Look at the down move, look at the bounce. There goes that NQ. Tesla broke NVIDIA broke the 30-minute high. NVIDIA broke the 30-minute high. Yeah, hell yeah. NVIDIA's been an active play. Is Andre still in this play? Andre, take some profits here. You're running into the 200. This is a fucking hell of a move. Where did you get in at? This is a hell of a move, guys. It's a hell of a move on NVIDIA. That play set up at 645, confirmed at 650. Boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Now I would take profits, right? I mean, like, if we're in on this 20 play, boom, look at that. One runner. Beautiful trade. 436. Beautiful trade. Beautiful trade. What you got in for? You got in at 436. What the fuck did you get in at 436? What was that? Why'd you get in at 436? First hour highs? First hour highs, I see it. Gotcha. So does anyone kind of see the trade? I'm pretty sure that this is Andre's trade, the confirming over the 10 SMA on a 1 hour time frame, first hour highs. You know, 435.50s went all the way up to 438. Do we see why? Do we see why he would take that trade, guys, on the video? If you look at first hour highs, what did the 7 a.m. candle do? It confirmed first hour highs. Do we anyone see why we would take that trade? This NQ pulled back. Burks, I hope you stayed safe on that NQ. Hope you stayed safe on the NQ. We're having trouble here at the 5-minute bully. Again, still oversupply, but okay, cool. But yeah, Burks, if this thing confirms, the NQ's got some space, man. The NQ's got some space. This thing starts to go. Yeah, good. I'd like to actually, you know what? I'd like to actually see it consolidate down here. I'd like to actually see it consolidate a little bit. Allow these Bollinger Bands to contract, get the Bollinger Band down under that range, and then when we break this high again, that's got some space. Again, it's a theory. It doesn't have to happen, but like if I analyze it that way, that'd be nice. That'd be nice because the NQ's got room. It's got room to push, and we're only at, you know, NQ's only up 24 points, which is nothing, right? It's nothing. You know, it's like we could stretch here 50, 60 points like nothing. NQ, if we confirm the highs, it's got room higher, yeah. We've got close to 100 points. I always cut it in half because mentally for me, you know, if we have space 100, I'll cut that in half. It's just because mentally I want to be in the mindset of shit, if this thing goes, it's got space, I want to be taking profits into that next zone. But yeah, I mean, yes, it does have like 100 points. Because I on a 5-minute time frame, I've got, you know, a lot of space into like, to be honest, like 15,509. I've got space into 15,509. And my hourly has space into my hourly is gonna have space. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, if we have that much room and you're only looking for 10 points, that's all we friggin' need. That's all we need. NQ or NVIDIA making a push into the 440s, guys. NVIDIA making a push into the 440s. That's your hourly supply. Yeah, this NQ chart is beautiful. This NQ chart on a 1 hour time is beautiful. You know, it's got room into 489 if it can confirm, which is about 49 points, 50 points. But it's pulling back a little bit here. Guys, if anyone's long on Nvidia, you've got supply here, 438.40s. Again, it would need to put in a high over 438, over 438, you know, I don't know, 60s, 50s. Put in that high, pull back, and confirm for a new play. Again, if you're long on Nvidia, this is your profit taking zone. If you're on Nvidia, this is a profit taking zone. Also, same with AMD, right? Your setup came in the 100s. You know, it went up $1.25. You're hitting your profit zone here at this linear at the 200. It's pulling back here into support. Also profit taking zone on that. The NQ on a 5-minute time frame. The NQ on a 5-minute time frame has just been an active long since, you know, since the pre-market. So if we weren't long, we needed to get over these highs, right? We still have to get over those highs before our new next setup on the NQ, which I think the next setup could be, you know, could be the one to push if the market wants to give us a little bit of help here. I'd just like this Bollinger Band to come down a little bit. For the Nvidia, for the Tesla bounce play, should be thinking about getting stopped out at break even. Yeah, I know, I see that. Just keeps moving up. It's like at 46 now, no? Also, guys, for options traders, what I would do around this time, flip to the hourly. Yes, sir. Aaron, 4 p.m. Your time or my time? Manual, you got a 200 shares. Okay, yeah, 4 p.m. is cool. 4 p.m. is cool. You got, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, 4 p.m. is cool, man. Well, I'll give you a jingle at 4. Manual, if you got assigned 200 shares at 108, you got assigned for 200 shares at 108. I'm looking at something here. 108 on Friday. Huh. What were you doing on Friday at 108? What were you doing on Friday at 108? You had contracts that expired or something? What'd you do at 108? Manuel, can you give me a little bit more context as to what's going on here at 108? Why would we buy shares at 108? I see we were trading the 108s on Thursday, but what happened on Friday? Friday we should have been trying to look to go short through the 20 here. We had a lot of space down. Why are we in? I'm not really sure what's going on. Manuel, if you're listening, can you give me a little bit more context on what's going on? Guys, Tesla's pushing back down. Tesla's gonna have room into 263. That's your next stop. It's testing low of day here. 263.70s. NQ pulling back here. If this is a little bit of a reversal here, I would look for 383s. 383s has room down to 360s. Yeah, right, yeah. I see that. Because this is like rejection at the Bollinger Band with no follow through. They should have exploded this if they wanted to pop it on this hour candle. If it starts to pull back, yeah, and it loses its 5 here on a 1 hour, you know, looking at the 5-minute time frame, it would, the 20 SMA play, what would be the most perfect thing? The most perfect thing is that when we lose this 20 and close below it, if we also lose the 50, to be honest. Because below like 380s, we've got room down. Below 380s. We've got room down to the 40s. So that should be enough space for us to grab a quick 10 on it. Yeah, first crack held. What is shadow crossings? What's shadow crossings? No, there's no short on the NQ yet. The NQ would need to close below the 20 SMA. Yeah, it's got to close. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, I think Burke's got that for me. You mean like we wicked below it? So here's the thing, Manuel. I know you're like extremely new to the room. So what we were gonna look for here is wicks. We're gonna use the levels on the wicks you know, to kind of mark out certain levels and sometimes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to take it short. So like a lot of times traders will get short on the wick and then it bounces like on how it did on this 5-minute candle before it starts to push down. And then what they start to do is they get panicked and then they sell. And then next thing you know, it continues to go in that direction. They're like, oh, what the hell happened? Just kind of wait for it to close here. Like we can be a little bit patient here. This candle truly that's breaking down is probably going to the 80s. I could see it pushing down to the 80s, but and then snapping back, and it would really need to then confirm that wick before we get short. One aggressive scalper could have gone short. Look at see that? See how it went straight to the 80s? Look at that. So like I was gonna say, you know, one trader could have taken the low through the 20s into the 80s, but again, you would have to assume that risk. That's a little risky. Duh. And being that this candle just opened up, you still have like 3 minutes before you can even do anything. You know, if one was not super aggressive on that. The market's really starting to flush here. Did anyone by chance jump that? Like I know some of us jump those. That's what I was just about to say too, Burks. I'm like, this son of a bitch, it's not gonna leave any room. It's gonna go down all the way on a 5-minute time frame, a 5-minute candle. We would have to imagine that after this candle here, our first move would probably be back up, no? Like to try to test these levels. They're gonna soak the range out. Friday lows are at the 56s. Which is our 1 hour Bollinger Band. 57 is a 1 hour Bollinger Band. I hate when they do that kind of shit, you know? Like, why not just stop short? Like, why not just stop right here? Why did it have to go 81 down to 67? Next 5-minute candle in around 40 seconds. Tesla coming down to low of day 263.78. AMD or Apple gave back that initial spike completely. Amazon gave a nice 20 play through the 50 SMA, 140 40s down to 140. It's a 40-cent move. It's pretty good for Amazon. It does have room down to 139.5. Will be running into a little bit of support. 1 hour on Amazon, room to 139.70s. $170s. AMD's pre-market lows is 139.67. this move hanging down here is finally going to get that 5-minute NQ Bollinger Band on top side to come down. Bottom Bolly is sitting at 342. John, the NQ 20 play didn't confirm yet though. Are you in on the low below the body? We got to use a wick. We got to use a wick. So that confirmation is here. Whoops. That confirmation is here. Gosh darn it. Oh. Sorry, my bad. My bad. You're not in on it. Sorry, I thought you said you were in on it. Yeah, we're looking at those 65, 66s. If we confirm that 5-minute time frame's got room to 45s on a bully, I do like the bounce here for this 20 SMA setup, because if we start getting rejected in this zone, like this is what I would look for, right? So here's our setup, right? This is our reason why we're getting a little bit of a bounce here. If we start to get rejected in here and we come down through this price, I would look to take profits into the 40s. And then on the 1 hour, right? On the 1 hour, let me get off this drawing tool. On the 1 hour, right? On the 1 hour, notice how that 66 area, you got a Bollinger Band sitting at 60, and below that, you would just use a low of day. So yeah, if this confirms on that 5-minute time frame, maybe potentially we got some room. Just like on the long, if the NQ was to get over 440s, it's got a lot of room. So that would be a good long position to get into. The good short position, is if we can confirm and it starts to crack below 59s, the 60s, it's really got room to flush. And then I would start looking at previous lows on previous low candles. 40s would be the next stop, and then maybe 30s. So like when I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame, when we're getting a setup, I just do a quick glance to the 1 hour to kind of see where are we at, right? Where are we at? How much space do we have if my play is going to go? If I'm on a 5-minute time frame, but we're sitting right at a support level and I'm trying to short on a 1 hour time frame, I might be a little bit more cautious, hesitant when I'm managing that short position. That's all. I like when there's space on the hourly chart and we're confirming that 5-minute. Again, the market wants to play games with people, right? Wants to close below the 20 and then bounce. So again, you're getting one of those reversal candlesticks here on the 5-minute 5. On a 5-minute 20, the 5-minute NQ plan. I needed to get under 66 before we get a short position. There's no active setups right now on the NQ like that anyone desperately should be in. And that's there's that Bollinger Band finally on top side falling down. And that's basically what it is, guys. That's basically what the trading is. Like, yeah, market's moving. It moved down a little bit. It's kind of bouncing right now. Doesn't mean that every candle we should be taking a play. We kind of have to wait. You got to wait for your levels and yeah, I've seen that. So that play if that play's taken, it's anticipation of us breaking the bully. You know, I don't, it's like this, right? It's like if that position was to be taken short and it bounces and it does bounce, and let's say someone doesn't take profits, right? It's not enough, or you get stopped out. It's not, well, why did this not work? It's more of I see why. I see why we bounced, right? I see why I got stopped out or whatever. But I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not worth taking. It's just you have to understand that, you know, if it stops you out and you take a loss on that trade, it's kind of like, you know, you're at least your understanding of why you got stopped out, versus a lot of times traders will get into, you know, a certain trade, but they really have no reason why, like that, you know, they have no idea why, excuse me, why they got stopped out or why it didn't go. Because it might be sometimes you take those plays and the next thing you know, it does go, right? It's anticipation of breaking that 1 hour bully. And it goes, and you're like, oh, I didn't take it because the Bollinger Band was right there, and you know I wanted to wait a little bit more. And next thing you know, the thing's down 40 points. So, you know, if you're taking a play on the 5-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame has room, great. Once you're in that trade, you can kind of go to that hourly time frame and start to manage it from there. You know, on your next bigger hour support or resistance. I like the rejection spot here on the NQ if we can stay below for the short. Again, that Bollinger Band's creeping though. On a 5, it's sitting at like the 50s. Starting to contract. So maybe if this thing washes out through the 65, 66s, we might have a good move here. Because the NQ is also just going from green to red as well. So I like plays that are like that as well too. I like setups that are like when we're going green to red or red to green, and then we've got space, you know, versus, hey, we're getting a 20 play setup, but the damn NQ's down 150. I mean, that kind of sucks, right? We're already down so much. Those of you guys who are going to signed up and did the boot camp, we're gonna get started on this real soon. So I've got some things typed up as far as how we're going to attack this. The way that it's basically going to work is when I get off the initial live stream with the gold members, I'm going to take a short break, and then I'm going to bring up the live stream for anyone who wants to get in it, and we're going to kind of go over the market, right? We're going to kind of analyze it in real time. If we did take any trades, we're going to kind of analyze that in real time. Again, for those of you guys who are trading futures, I'm going to be taking trades with you guys, as well as those guys who are going to look to trade options. So how we're going to come into this each and every single day is we're going to have specific levels. We're going to use, you know, 1 to 2 setups, right? That's going to be predominantly the setups that I look to take personally, and then we're going to take them. Now the sizing on everyone's accounts might be different, and I understand that. I don't expect everyone to play 10 contracts on options. I don't expect everyone, you know, to play whatever, you know, massive size on the futures. But what we're going to do is we're really going to focus on when we get the setups, we are going to take them 100% of the time. We're not going to sit here and overanalyze. We're not going to sit here and say, what if this, that, and we're going to run through a series of 20 trades together, and each and every single day, break those trades down, go over the mistakes that were made, or the losses that we took, or the wins that we made, and we're going to kind of reflect on that each and every single day. So that'll be private to you guys. But what it's really going to do is it's going to allow you to be able to do this without me. That's the whole goal. I do not want any of you guys to rely on me. I don't want any of you guys to rely on some YouTube video or some trading book. The moment you can identify these setups on your own with no hesitation and start taking trades, you are going to see that even with losses that you take, because that's just a cost of doing business, the losses that you take are not going to be anything significant to where, you need to be concerned or scared or worried about taking potential trades because, you're going into drawdown or anything like that. And every day we're going to have a pretty good assignment as to what we're looking at as far as levels, right? And I want to get you guys as close to, and me as close to, mimicking each other's trades as possible, so we can really see, right? We can really see. Again, right now, everyone is kind of spread out, kind of looking at their own levels. They're same. I want to take the same trades that you're taking, win for win, loss for loss, right? And I want to get you guys to a confidence level where you're calling out the trades, and I'm going to tail you, right? You want to know what it feels like to have someone else follow your trade. I will follow your trade. Again, if it's a stupid trade and there's nothing there, I'm definitely going to let that be known. But what I'm saying is I want to follow your guys' trades exactly, and I want to know what you're thinking in that active trade. Because a lot of times we take trades and then your mind starts to run when it starts to bounce and it starts to do this, starts to do that. Or even when you're in profit, you want to snatch it really quick. But if you got room down, why are we not holding to try to maximize the profits on that one particular trade? So again, we'll have an outline. There'll be an outline in text. I'm going to type this out to you. There'll be an outline in text. We're going to have a specific position sizing. So again, it doesn't mean that all of your trades that you take need to be, through this outline, but I want to have money allocated, whether you're trading on prop firm, you're trading on a personal account, you're trading options, it doesn't really matter. Allocate some of your portfolio, allocate some of your account size to trade small, right? To trade small. We're not going to be trading big. I don't want you guys fucking blowing yourselves out, but we want to trade small. But what we want to do is we want to run through the trades, for better, for worse. We want to see them actually pan out. We want to see them actually get stopped out. We want to see why they're getting stopped out and have that clear understanding. Because once you start to have that clear understanding, you're going to sit back and you're going to be like, all those other trades that I took where I got stopped out, or I took profits too quick, or, like I thought that it was doing this, it really wasn't that bad. And after I took, 10, 15, 20, 30 trades, I was actually profitable. So I understand this is all I have to do, is I have to identify the levels, take them when I see them. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. And that is what it is, right? That is what it is. But again, it's gonna really help a lot of you guys. Back in the day, I did it, a few years ago, with some of the older guys who have been in the room. Yeah, with some of the older guys who've been in the room. I mean, like, for example, like right now, like, there's a few people, there's a handful of people that are in here, and there's even people that have been in here that are no longer in the room. There's their name. I still see their names. I've checked in on them, but like, they're good. Like they don't need to like check Discord to see what everyone else is doing. They just trade on their own. But I mean, we've created some friendships in here, and some of these guys still kind of hang around. Like, for example, Andre's been in here for a long time. Biggs has been in here for a long time. Shep's been in here for a long time. Addie's been in here for a long time. There's a lot of guys who have been in here for a long time, and you kind of see these guys, they're not really asking for help or what should we do here, this and that. These guys kind of just take their trades on their own. They're pretty self-sufficient. That was a nasty bounce on that NQ. Like, it literally spiked below it and then fucking reversed. Nasty bounce on that NQ. They had that stupid Bollinger Band creeping up here. And if I'm just looking at this thought process here, the bulls are trying to hold this 5-minute 5. They're also trying to hold that 1 hour Bollinger Band. Yeah, I know that was, yeah. All right, Burks, I'll see you later. Yeah, that was a nasty trade that Burks got wicked out on. That sucks, because it did pop. It like broke it, and then it just immediately reversed. But yeah, the point I was trying to make is that, like, if I was to use some of those guys as examples, they're at a point in their trading career where, not saying that it would happen, but if this Discord was to go away and there was no, later on, Sam, and there was no active, nothing going on here, they would be just fine. Like, they would be just fine. They don't really need any more education. They don't really need any more education. And because you get to a certain point, guys, also, like, once you understand the charts, once you understand things, there's a certain point in time where there's no new strategy, guys. There's nothing you can learn. After that, it's all, like, once you know enough about the way you trade or the system you trade, the way that the market moves, once you know enough, the search for trying to find what works is over. All it takes for that to happen is for you guys to get consistent and see that over a series of trades, even with taking losses, you can still do this on a day in and day out basis. And at the end of the week or the end of the month, the end of the quarter, you're profitable. And at that point in time, it is what it is. It's just, for example, it's just repeating the process over and over and over and over. But in the beginning, a lot of traders are so concerned about each and every single loss or each and every single win. It's not, but you can't focus on that, because if you focus on, well, I just took a loss today, and you let that get in your head, or it makes you hesitant for the next trade, it's such a small scale. You guys are going to take thousands of trades. Right? So as long as we can minimize huge blowout losses, we can manage. And ultimately, right? Every single one of you guys, all paid some type of money to be in here, right? All paid some type of money. So what that tells me is you're serious. You're serious about education. You're serious about getting better. You're serious about, wanting to learn something, right? So if that's the goal, wouldn't also be the goal to be able to do this without anyone, right? On a deserted island with no one around, and all you have put in front of you is a internet connection and a chart. You don't want to rely on anyone else. You don't want to, have to always be every month searching for the next best stock or the next best strategy or this, that, and the other. Once you understand price action, once you understand the markets, you're good. That's ultimately what the end goal is here, is to be able to extract money from the market on demand on your own. But I think the common theme that I'm seeing over the years with traders is fear, right? It's fear. It's over analyzing, and it's fear. It's hesitation on the execution is what I'm trying to say. But once you can break through that barrier of not hesitating, or not being fearful, or missing trades, or not stopping when you're green on the day, or stopping just trading altogether when you're red on the day, as soon as you can master those 3 or 4 things, the rest is history, fellas. It really is. I've seen guys go down $500-$600 today and make $2,000 tomorrow. I've also seen guys go down 500 today and feel the need to, well, if they can catch that one play, maybe it breaks them even. If they can catch that one more trade, maybe they can make some money. And they're down 500 to 900. They're down 900 to 1,000. It's like tomorrow might be a completely different day than today, price action wise, right? So why would we focus on draining our mental equity, right? And getting stressed and ruining our account sizes for the sole fact of just trying to make money today? That's the thing with trading. You can lose money all week, and one trade can make back everything. The same way you can Make money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday you can blow all those earnings out. So if you don't know how to manage the losses, if you don't know how to manage the wins, and you're going to have 1-2 days that really blow out everything, a little bit of a 20 play long here. If on the NQ, if you do that, you know, that's not where you want to be. You want to be able to, you know, have a winning day, have a 2 winnings days, take a losing trade, doesn't really affect you. Take a winning trade, you go continue to go green, take a losing trade, you're still in the green. It's like, that's how you want to keep managing it. You don't want to manage it to where, you know, oh, I made $1,000, but then this one day I gave $1,000 back. It's like, there's no headway. You're just kind of spinning your wheels in the mud, right? You're like a hamster running in a hamster wheel, just constantly going around and around and around, but you're not really going anywhere. You know, if that's where you're at in your trading, you know, journey, career, where you're kind of just like up and down, up and down, up and down in a circle, we're going to fix that. We're definitely going to fix that. Because everyone has a few things, right? Even myself, I still have a few things that I'm working on, you know, and you'll probably always be working on stuff. But like, once you identify what you really need to work on, you just solely focus on that. You just solely focus on that. So if it's stopping when you're ahead, you really focus on, you know, stopping when you're ahead on the day, whether you're green by $10 or you're green by $10,000. If you have a problem stopping when you're green and giving it back and going red, that's what you're mainly focusing on a day-to-day basis. You're not focusing on the setup. You're not focusing on the ticker. You're not focusing on the stock, because you already know all that stuff. What you're focusing on is the problem that's keeping you going around and around. If your problem is execution, beautiful trade, Andre. If your problem is execution, like being hesitant to take the trades, well, then you're gonna freaking take trades whether you like them or not on small size, and let them play out, and actually see that you're not going to die. Like, nothing's gonna happen, right? Like, you're sized appropriately, nothing's gonna happen to you. You're gonna continue to take the trades, and you're gonna get to a point where it becomes muscle memory. It's so second nature to you, to where it is very easy to, you know, continue to take the trades, because you just understand that over my next 10 trades, I'm going to be profitable. That's the way I look at it. For myself, I know that if I lose, I don't really care, because I know I'll take 9 more trades and I'm going to be green at the end of those 9. I'll take 20 trades. I know I'm going to be green after those 20 trades. It's been that way for years now. And when you have that type of mindset, it's all really history after that. When you have that type of mindset, when you have the mindset where you're just trying to win, and it's like, you know, it's like going to Vegas. You think you're going to just take money out of the Vegas's pocket. You know, you want to know who wins? The people who are never expecting to win when you're gambling at a casino. The people who really don't care, and they know that they're just going to play around with this money, those are the people who really win. The people who go in there and they think that they're going to take this table, or they're going to take this slot machine for cash, those are the people that get sucked. They get sucked dry, because you're focused too much on winning. You're not focused on the actual process. You're not focused on actually having fun. You're not focused on actually enjoying, you know, identifying the correct levels. Focus on the process, less on the profits, and everything kind of falls into place. We start focusing on, oh, well, how much am I going to lose on this trade, or how much am I going to win on this trade? Don't matter. Every trade is different. Every trade is different. Just because you made $500, like for example, Andre made $400 on this NVIDIA play, doesn't mean that the next time he plays NVIDIA or plays the same setup, he's going to make $400. Next setup, you make 180, and it kind of trickles around and starts to come back around, and he just sells it because he had a bad feeling about it, right? Because he knows that it doesn't. One trade you can catch 400, one trade you can catch 900, one trade you might catch 100, one trade you might lose 200, right? So it's like, once you understand and once you see that you can make profits, once you start seeing that you can make profits and pull money out of this market, it really doesn't matter how much you're making per trade, because you know that over a series of trades, you're going to catch the bigger ones, right? You're going to catch the bigger ones. Like someone on YouTube asked me, and I don't even know if they're in the room. I don't believe so. I didn't recognize the screen name. But someone asked me on YouTube on a comment, like, I guess they watched one of the training videos on the 20 SMA play, and they asked for, like, how can they set it up in a way where the stop loss is the same number all the time? Like, they want to have like they want to risk $100 on a trade or something, right? Something like that. But they want to risk the same amount on every trade. And to be honest, that's probably impossible. Now, if you're trading shares, you can probably do it. If you're trading futures, you can probably do it. With options, you probably can't lose the same amount. You can lose around the same amount every time if you have like the system that where you're going to manage your size. But it's if you want to kind of consistently lose the same amount of money, right, per trade when the trade doesn't work, that has to do with the position sizing. So we have to stay consistent with the position sizing, like meaning we can't trade 5 contracts one day, 1 contract another. Your wins and losses are going to be skewed. But if we consistently trade 3 contracts, we know, right? Like I know, I'll speak for myself because that's the only thing I can do is speak for myself. I know that when I lose an options trade, it might be from $400 to $800, plain and simple. If I let the trade work out and it fails and it stops me out technically, it's probably going to be between $400 and $800. Why? Because the amount of money that I'm putting into one specific trade is around the same amount of money, give or take a couple thousand, around the same every single time, right? My contracts kind of remain the same, which is because I play the same names all the time. So when I win, it's also the same. Like if you kind of notice something, and I told Biggs this a while back, like a long time ago, years ago, I told Andre this also a long time. If you notice, you want to know how you know you're consistent when you're winning around the same amount every time. When you do lose, it's around the same amount every time. But if you win $50 and you win $100 and then you take a $500 loss, or you take you won $500 one day and then you lose $1,000 another day, if your numbers are far off, they're skewed, like they're like way all over the place, there's only two things that could be the potential reason why. One, you size differently, meaning you play different dollar amounts, like investment, right? You might play $1,000 this time, $5,000 next time. Like you might buy 1 contract, you might buy 10. Like your position sizing is off. It's not consistent. That's one thing it tells me. And 2, your stop losses are not consistent, right? Now, again, you're not always going to lose the same amount. Like if someone was to say, "Hey D, how can I risk $100 on the NQ? How can I risk $100 on the NQ every single trade?" I would say it's impossible. Can you do it? Sure. Will you get stopped out? And then sometimes that play that you're in go for $1,000? 100%. And that'll probably happen more than not because you're trying to keep the stop loss so tight. If you keep your stop losses around levels and based on technicals, then yes, your wins and losses are not always going to be the same. Like you're not always going to lose $100 trading the NQ or MNQ or whatever. Sometimes it might be a $250 loss. Sometimes it might be an $80 loss. Sometimes it might be a $50 loss. If you want to keep it the same, it's about the position sizing, right? A position sizing. Like you're never going to get blown out, but it's the amounts are never going to be the same. So the point that I'm trying to make is that once you get consistent with your entries and exits, you get consistent with your position sizing, then your wins and losses on the P&L side become very, very consistent. And it allows you to open up that part of your brain to analyze and be like, okay, over my last 20 trades, yeah, I take some losses, but my wins are like, I'm winning more than I'm losing, right? I'm winning more than I'm losing. You'll see that you'll start hitting at around a 50, 60, 70% win rate. But like, here's another point another question that has been asked me on YouTube, over the past couple years is, well, what is the 20 SMA win rate strategy? Like what's that strategy? What's that win percentage, right? What's the win percentage? And it's like, that's such a wrong question to ask, because a lot of times I feel, just from dealing with traders and talking to traders and reading what traders post on social media, traders they think that you have a strategy and that one strategy wins 60% of the time, or it's a 70% winning strategy. So what they assume, and it really gets under my skin, they assume that, and it doesn't have to be my strategy, it could be any strategy. I don't care what strategy it is. It doesn't fucking matter. They're all the same. Strategies, like you heard the analogy, opinions are like assholes, everyone's got them. Strategies are also like assholes. Everyone has one, right? Doesn't matter what strategy it is, they all win. It comes up to the trader and how well you manage the strategy. A strategy is just nothing more simply than an edge. It's having an edge in the market that's going to allow you to identify areas where potentially you can make money and identify areas where you can potentially minimize your risk, meaning stop losses. So to ask what the strategy is, like what the strategy's win rate percentage is like tying your hands behind your back. Because if I was to say that the 20 SMA strategy hits at 65-70%, you can have a week where it hits at 20%. You can have a week where you don't lose a fucking trade and it hits at 100. So how can I say that it hits at 65 or 70%? It doesn't, because every day the market is different. What I know over the past 6.5 years of using these type of strategies and this type of charting system is that over the course of a month, over the course of 20 trades, over the course of 10 trades, over the course of 50 trades, you're profitable. That's all I know. One week, the strategy might hit at 60%. The next week, the strategy might hit at 100%. The next week, the strategy might hit at 25%. The point I'm making is the market cycles and conditions change. Sometimes we have an FOMC week, we have numbers on the week. That's going to change and alter what's going to happen in the candlesticks. Sometimes we're going through things, election years, you're going through all sorts of things. Interest rates, when interest rates were continuing to rise on what seemed like almost an hourly basis, right? That's going to change things. When you have these Fed guys coming on every other fucking day talking about this, that, and the other, that's going to change things, right? When you have earning seasons, that's going to change things. Seasonality is going to change things. Typically this time of the year is generally a down part of the year. September, October, markets start to slow down. In the summertime, typically also has been a very, very slow time because a lot of big money leaves for the summer. They don't really have too much focus. But what I'm saying is things start to really ramp up again in November, December, January. And things always, if you've been around the market, they always kind of take that little bit of a landslide towards the end of January into February and March. Things start to fall a little bit. So there's a seasonality. So you might win. The point I'm trying to make is that you can take if you take every single 20 SMA play one week, you might hit at 80%. The next week, you might only hit at 30%. Does that mean that the strategy doesn't work? Does that mean that, whatever? No, it's up to you as a trader to kind of identify what's going on in the markets and play the price action accordingly. So meaning that if we're in a little bit more of a choppier cycle, which we were kind of in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we have to understand as a trader, we can't expect the same gains that we made last month, this month. Because we're in a different cycle. We're in a different period of time. So if we're always kind of looking for the same consistent wins or the same consistent losses, you're really never going to get ahead because you're not really adapting to what's going on in the markets. Your edge, aka strategy, is there to help you identify setups and risk management. But it's up to you as a trader to also be an adult and be a big boy or girl and understand that just because you won $1,000 on your last trade doesn't mean you're going to win it every time, right? The next trade setup can only give for 200. That's because the market cycles have changed. The ranges have contracted. We're not even giving that big of a range for us to make X amount of money on this particular trade. We're not in that type of environment. We're not in a trending bull market. We're not in an active bear market, right? Like right now, if you simply were to say, is the Qs, which is a NASDAQ, are we in a bull or bear market, right? Well, the answer to that, if we go back a year, right? If we go back a year, even to this year, right? The market, take this off. The market is in an active bull market in 2023. Now, does that mean that you're not going to have ebbs and flows? Does that mean you're not going to have waves, ups and downs? Of course not, right? But the majority of the money this year should have been made to the long side, right? So when you start to go back and look at hindsight, the majority of your money should have been on the long side, right? Whether you're trading options or the Qs. Now you're going to go into spells where we pull back, where we pull back, right? And it's up to you to identify those changes in the market and kind of adjust your edge to use it to the short side, right? So we're coming out of a bear market, right? Out of a bear market, breaking clean and clear into not like a raging bull market, but the overall market direction is strong. However, right, we're coming into a period, right? We're coming into a period in August where we pulled back, right? We pulled back in August. So in September, we're kind of bouncing here. Now, if any of you guys have been trading in the last couple of weeks, especially in the room, has the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks felt easy or hard, right? It hasn't been as easy to trade the last 2 or 3 weeks. Why? Ranges have been contracting. We're not continuing, right? We're not continuing to make new highs. So if we're not continuing to make new highs, you're not just getting those active moves where you just get in and it just goes, and you get in and it just goes. You're getting moves that are going up and then they're coming back down. And then the next day we're going down and then we're coming back up. The market's trying to figure itself out right now. So the sooner you can start to identify that we're in an active period of distribution, right? An active period over under this 50 SMA. And I'm going to blow this up because I want to show you guys. But if we look at the daily chart here, if we look at the daily chart, the first time that we really started to break back above in the last month here over the 50 SMA, which is very pivotal point. For all of you newer traders to this room, the general rule of thumb is this: if we're trading over the 50-day moving average, we're generally bullish, right? We generally want to be more on the long side, right? If we're trading over the 20 SMA, we want to be on the long side, right? And then you're going to use your 5 and 10-day moving averages as your daily and weekly power trends. So what I'm saying is that if we're reclaiming a big spot, the bulls are reclaiming, like we were trading over the 50 SMA and we had lost it for a period of time. Now we're trying to reclaim that 50 SMA. We're at a battle zone here. And look at the price action the first day on the 23rd of August where we close over, and the next day is a complete down red day. And then we have a 4-day bounce that gets over the 50 SMA, puts in a new high, and comes all the way back down and loses it. Then we gap over and have been consolidating sideways for what is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, which is telling you some days it's going to be up, some days it's going to be down, and it's up, and it's down, and then it's down, and now it's trying to hold. So the point that I'm trying to make without being super confusing here is that this spot that we've been in for almost the last month is hard. This is hard trading action because the overall trend is not up or down. So for someone to say, right, because someone asked me recently, it was like within the last week on YouTube, well, what is the win rate percentage? Well, that my win rate percentage is going to be a hell of a lot different now than it was 3 months ago when we were just trending straight up, right? Doesn't mean that it doesn't work or you can't find success in it, but what it means is that you need to understand where we're at and you need to take profits. Like for some of the futures guys, for example, we made an adjustment almost last week where, hey, you know what, guys, instead of looking for that 20-25 point move on the NQ, let's start taking 15. Let's start taking 10. And as soon as we made that adjustment, we're using the same strategy, we're using the same edge, but we're not expecting the same profits that we used to make maybe a month ago or the 2 months ago, because we're not in that market cycle. So we're a little bit more choppy. Moves are not really holding that much long. They're not really holding that long, right? So if we kind of use the same edge, but understand the market conditions and kind of tighten up the take profit, we can have more success. And that's exactly what's been happening, right? That's exactly what's been happening. Also, when you start to understand that, hey, the NQ's range right now is anywhere between 17 and 25, sometimes almost 30 points on a 1 5-minute candle. So if you're sitting there and you're trying to take the NQ and you want to have a 10-point stop loss, hard stop loss, the odds of you getting stopped out, which is going to lower that win rate percentage, is going to be a lot more. Now, yes, you're going to protect your risk and the next trade might go, so it really doesn't matter that your win rate percentage is low. So the point with that is you can set a smaller stop loss and you might only have a 30% win rate, but you're still in the green because when your trades go, it outweighs the losses because you have a tight stop loss. So it's not really about how much you win, what's your win rate, but more so how are you managing your winners and your losers. That's going to be the difference. How well are you identifying what market cycle that we're into and identifying on a macro level, meaning the daily, where we're at, so you can put your edge, aka strategy, to work for you in a directional bias that's going to allow you to be more profitable and have a higher win rate, right? So for example, on Friday, we re-lost the 20-day moving average. Okay, I mean the 50-day moving average on Friday. Today, we're kind of quickly lost Friday's lows and we're sitting right here at this 20. Now, if we really start to close below this 20-day moving average, we've got a little bit of room down here to 15,250. And if we start to lose that, our directional bias where we should be looking to take trades should be like almost 80% short, right? If the market's going to hold, and we're going to hold this 20-day moving average, and this is just a consolidation distribution period over under this 50-day moving average, then when we break the high side, right? When we break the high side and we start doing something like this, we want to really get back to directional bias being long on a day in, day out basis. But right now, it's like some days things look good long one day, things look good short one day. It's because we're really going sideways, guys. Like the market's just, hasn't gone anywhere in a month, right? Like if you really stop and take your panties out of the bunch, the market has done nothing but go sideways for a month, right? So some days we're going long, some days we're going short, right? When we start to trend again, is when pretty much every day we're just coming in looking long. Pretty much every day we're coming in looking short. But right now, if you haven't noticed, we are going short and long every single other day, right? Every single other day. It's just like this, right? It's just like this. Sometimes we're trending higher, right? Sometimes we're trending higher. And people are shorting up moves, an uptrend. They're shorting on the uptrend, even on an intraday basis. Oh, let's say, for example, we're in a raging bull market right now. I can see people, well, I'm taking this short 20 play here. I would ignore the short 20 play. We're in an uptrending market. Why are we worried about 20 play short? Why not worry about the confirmation back long? Why not worry about the confirmation over the first hour's highs? Why not worry about the confirmation over previous day's highs? We're moving higher. Why are we looking to short in an uptrend? Just like the same thing when we're pushing down and we're in a downtrend. You'll see people trying to buy long, and it's like, why not just ignore the long setups and let's focus on the short setups because we're in a downtrend. Now, the last month, and especially for some of you newer guys, we are going long and short every single day, intraday, whatever. But that's only because the market is in a distribution period. We're going sideways, we're going up and down. So we're going to try to capture moves to the upside when we're green, when we're trending green on a day. We're going to try to capture moves to the downside when we have those good setups. But like, guys, when we do eventually break out and start to work towards these new highs, or we do start to break down and we start to really lose some levels to the downside, we're really going to be focusing on trading one side of the market. We're going to be ignoring the other side, and we're going to be trading the side that we're trending on. That's another thing I want you guys to kind of get comfortable with, because the market is all built on patterns. The market is all built on emotional, on playing on emotional cues. So what tends to happen is when you go through these periods of distribution, it forces you to trade a certain way, right? So when we do come out of this cycle, and now I'll just use an example. Let's say we're trending to the high side. You're still trading the way we were trading in a distribution chop market, meaning that you're going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And the market's going to be proving to you that, hey, you're going to get stopped out on this because we're in an uptrend. You're going to get stopped out on this short because we're in an uptrend. You're going to get stopped out on this short because you're in an uptrend, which can ultimately kind of ruin your P&L because you're sitting back trying to trade every single up, down, up, down, up, down. Like for example, today, if we just pull up today's chart. Okay, if we pull up today's chart, pre-market put in this low, and we've kind of been grinding higher. We're just grinding higher. So Why not ignore the short setups and just look for the longs today? Right? Wouldn't that kind of stay on our probability side of having a better chance of success versus what I'm saying is, let's say you win on a long and you lose on a short, okay? And then you go long again and then you go short again. All you're doing is splitting up your odds and chances here. Why not just stay long? And if you win on a long and then you lose on a long and then you take another long and you win on a long, like, why not just stay with the side of the market that it's going up? And today it's not going up, but it's like drifting, going against a trend. You see what I'm saying? It's like, so stay with the day's trend, right? Like having, like, I'll use the 20 play scalping strategy as an example. Just because this setup is going to give you long and short confirmations doesn't mean we have to take every long and every short. Doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that, hey, just plug and play this system and buy every long, buy every short. Because not every long is going to work and not every short is going to work. So stay on the side of the trades. So if the initial move in the pre-market was down, right? But we based out and we never put in a new low before the market opened. So far the market it's not going high, guys. It's not screaming, right? It's not screaming. But would everyone kind of agree that the NQ at least is kind of just floating a little bit sideways and higher, right? It's not necessarily floating sideways and lower. It's kind of just floating sideways and higher, right? Just look at the hourly chart, right? Look at the hourly chart since the pre-market. Down move, no continuation, floating higher. Consolidation, floating higher. Yes, we agree. So if you ignore trading short today and you took, for example, I'm going to mark out the first hour's highs over pre-market action, right? Where's the pre-market at? 5, 6. So if you look at this area, the previous hour before the market opened, right? And you look at the 5-minute chart, well, wouldn't we kind of say here that the 6:30 a.m. candle, can you guys see this, right? Wouldn't we kind of say, I mean, listen to the analysis, guys. This is not fucking rocket science, right? Wouldn't we kind of say that this opening 30-minute candle here, or excuse me, opening 6:30 a.m. candle on a 5-minute time frame should have been long? We put in the down move in pre-market. We consolidated sideways. We marked out those highs right before the bell opened. Look at what happened right off the bell. We completely, gosh darn it. We completely explode. We completely explode through those previous hour's highs. So this long setup could have been taken because someone identifies that the trend is starting to drift higher. Let's just take the long setup. Boom. Now it kind of does its thing, puts in its high, has a little bit of choppiness action. Here's a short setup. Why are we looking short if the day is trending higher? How about we look for the next long? Well, the next long comes here at 755, and that price is 15,405, and it goes all the way to a price of 15,415. So could we have made 5 points here? Yes. Could we have held a runner? Look at, here's a short setup at 805. Why would we take the short setup if the market is trending higher? We're going to ignore this one, right? So this trade should have been taken. Identify that the market is going higher. Well, if the market's going higher, then why not ignore the short setup? Okay, so let's take the next one. 1 bar stop system. Get long here. Here's your 10 points if you're a scalper. Boom. Here's your pullback. Ignore. And then guess what happens? You come back and you take the next long setup. Boom. Look at this long setup. The one that we're currently in. Is anyone in the NQ long? And if you're not, so guys, those of you guys who are in the boot camp, get ready for, oh, let me move this over so you guys can see. The guys who are in the boot camp that we're going to be starting this week, get used to taking this trade here. This trade is going to be taken 100% of the time. Why? Trend is higher. Put in that new high. Pulled back. No follow through. We're ignoring the short setups in an uptrend. Take this long setup is taken. This short setup is ignored. This long setup is taken. Look at the fucking move. Who is in the NQ? Boom. Like, who's in the NQ? I teach this on YouTube for freaking free. You guys come into the room and I just stress and hammer this 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 play. Why did we not take the long? If you trade NQ, why are you not trading long right now? Like, why are you not in the long setup? I want someone, and also boot campers, get ready to open up and spill the guts a little bit, because we need to understand why we're not taking this trade. If you trade the NQ, you should essentially took 2 plays. 230 on NQ micro futures. Good job, Andre. And you're barely coming back to trading futures after taking a little bit of a vacation. Putts, you traded the NQ futures, whether it's micros or minis. Were you in on the long play? Yes or no? Going into lunchtime, slowing down. Okay. So besides Andre, Putts, did you take the long play? Beautiful. You made money on it, correct? You made some money on it. I don't care if it's $10. I don't care if it's $500. You made money on it. Beautiful. Excellent. That's what it's all about. Take profits into the supply zone. What's the supply? What's the supply zone? The supply zone is our previous highs and the Bollinger Band, right? So if we take the 20 play here and we break through this supply zone, where do we go to the next supply zone? That's all you do. Analyze it like that. There's no overthinking here. There's nothing. Either we're gonna break this or we're gonna get stopped out. There's nothing else that can happen. You know, no one's gonna cut your arm off if it goes down and you lose. No one's gonna. No one's gonna hurt you if you lose on this play here. But this play has to be taken 100% of the time if you trade futures. And if also if you start identifying the move, it's an uptrend today. So why not ignore the back test? Ignore these little back tests. You know, don't get scared when we're coming back. You know, don't look for the short setup. Don't look for the short setup. Stay with the move of the day. I hope that helps, guys. I hope that really helps, right? I hope that really helps, because that's how you start building your win rate percentage to be up, right? But if someone is sitting there and there's no 20 play setup here, so they never take this play, right? They're never involved in that. And then they're looking for a short setup here, and let's say they jump the gun early and they get stopped out, and then they look for this long play and they don't take profits at 10 handles and they get stopped out, and then they take this short play that gets reversed and they get stopped out, and now they're so scared to take this long play and this was actually the winner of the day. That's where you mess up. That's where you mess up. Because now you're all over the board. You're all over the board. You know, you should be ignoring the short setups in a drifting sideways market that's going higher based on your hourly chart, right? We're looking at the hourly chart. So you're ignoring the short setups and you're only taking the longs. You're only taking the longs. And even if you took the 2 long setups here and you're taking 10 points here and 10 points here, well then, gosh darn it, you're up 20 points on the day. Right? You're up 20 points on the day. And if you want to make more than whatever this is equivalating into, trade more contracts. So if trading one micro is equal to $40, well, guess what? If you would have traded 2 micros, you would have made $80. If you traded 3 micros, right? So forth and so forth. $160. So think about it. Think about it for a second. So if you're trying to target $500, how many points do you need to capture, and how many contracts do you need, right? But again, if you're trying to make $500, for example, every single day in every single trade, well, today, you know, if you're trading like two micros, let's say for example, you know, you really haven't gotten the move to make $500. Maybe you got the move to make like 150. And here's a hard question for you. The market hasn't really provided, because it's going sideways but drifting higher. The market hasn't really given you an opportunity to go out there and make $500, $1,000 if you're trading 1 or 2 micros. So let's just say your position sizing is 1 or 2 micros. Are you okay with stopping the day on $100 in the green? Or are you a person that's like, well, I made 500 on Friday, I made 500 trading the same system or edge or whatever on Wednesday of last week, but today I only made 100, so let me take another trade. And guess what happens on the next trade? You're on the wrong side of the probability, because this is all probabilities, and you frickin' lose, right? You frickin' lose, and next thing you know, now you're back at nothing. So have the discipline to stop when you're green on the day, because again, if you make, like, I'll use Andre for example, because he posted up his winnings here. He made $230 on the NQ futures. If he stops today and makes another $200 tomorrow, he's up 500. If he tells himself, I want to make more than 230, and he takes another trade, and that next trade just happens to lose, because sometimes trades lose, and he gives back 230, guess what? He's at break even. So who has the discipline to stop when you're up? Right? If you don't stop when you're up, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to kill yourself. If you don't understand that every day is not the same, you're going to kill yourself. I don't care how much money you want to make. I would love to make $10,000 a day. It doesn't fucking happen, right? It doesn't fucking happen. Do I have the skill set to sit here and trade 50 times in a day, every single setup that I want to, and put on double my size that I'm doing right now and try to shoot for $10,000 a day? Sure. But guess what happens if I just have a bad day? I'm going to lose $5,000 or $10,000, and that's going to piss me off more. So I'll come in here, I'll pluck off the $380 like I did on the stupid, Tesla trade. And if I don't really get anything else I like, I don't really care. $380 on a day is fucking fine. I'll take it, right? I'm not here to, try to make $10,000 in a day, because I know tomorrow I might catch something, I might make 1,000. So now I'm up $1,300. Now I'm up $1,500 in 1-2 days, right? Right? I might have a trade this week where I make $2,000. And guess what? It makes up for the baby $380 winner today. But if I take another trade today with the intention of, I want to make more money, I made, whatever I made on fucking Friday, right? Or not Friday because I didn't trade it, but on Thursday. Like you kind of see the thought process. It's a thought process, guys. It's a thought process. It's a thought process. Putz, how many points did you actually take on that? You had 10 and 15 points. Is that what you're saying? Which is fine, dude. Which is fine. Because look at it like this, Putz. Look, yeah, that's fine. And honestly, I would be more comfortable with a trader doing what you did than a trader trying to squeeze as much water out of the rock as possible. Because guess what? When you win, Putz, okay, when the trade is going to work out, you're going to make 10 to 15 points hand over fist. You're going to make that 10 to 15 points hand over fist. All the trades aren't going to work, but you have a higher success rate of just shooting for 10 to 15 points and doing that another 1,000 times, Putz, versus the guys who want to get into the play, but they want to make 40, 50 points. Their odds are working against them. They're not always going to catch those. They might. Like, don't get me wrong. You're going to just sit here, any trader, I'm just using you as an example. You're going to sit here and you're going to take 10 to 15 points. You're going to take 10 to 15 points. You're going to take 10 to 15 points. You're going to have another trader out there sitting and looking for 40, 50, 60, 70 points, right? Looking to catch that all day runner. They're going to get it on that one specific day, Putz. On that one specific day, yes, they're going to make a lot more money than you. However, how you're trading right now and just looking for that, you're going to be more consistent over the quarter, more consistent over the year than those guys who are sitting there just looking for those all day trends. They will have the big wins, but you know who has the big losses? Those SOBs. They have those big losses. I tell everyone, I used to tell people before we really started getting into trading futures in this room, when we were just trading options, I would rather come into the market each and every single day and know that I can pick off a trade for $100, and I would do that over and over and over until the end of time. Even to this day, if I knew that my skill set that I have right now can make me $100, $150 every single day if I wanted to, I will do that forever. I will sign a contract forever that I will make $150 every day for the rest of my life. Every day. Because guess what's going to happen in 6 months? My account's going to be bigger. Guess what's going to happen in 12 months? My account's going to be bigger. Guess what I can do in 6 months? I can size up. Guess what I can do in 12 months? I can size up. You can always size up. You can always size up if you want to make more money. But in the beginning, you have to build a cushion. In the beginning, you have to have a cushion. If you don't have a cushion and you're just trying to reach for the stars when you're just starting your foundation, you will blow yourself up. You will blow yourself up. Andre, I already got to that guy. He's already good. NQ continuing to push higher. Tesla looking for that reversal over the previous hour. I really like NVIDIA here over the 20 SMA, guys, at 438, 439. Going from red to green. Coming into a new hour. I like this setup on NVIDIA. Again, we are coming into the lunch hour, but I do like the setup. If this thing can start to pop, over 439, it's going to have some space. I would sit on NVIDIA over 439. 439 on NVIDIA. So for the options guy or the futures guys, do we see that we could have, if we set a 10-point take profit, do we see that we could have been green on the day on 2 trades? So for someone to say, what's the win rate percentage on your strategy? Could I not sit here and say, well, it's 100%? It's 100%. Because if you would have just taken 2 long setups in the directional bias that we're going today, instead of 10-point take profit, you would have taken 20 points out of the market on 2 trades. That's 10. That's two for 2 trades. That's 100%. Now, however, if we sat here and we played this short setup here that got stopped out, where's the short setup that got stopped out? The short setup that got stopped out here. Now you lost. You got into this long play here, but you were looking for 40 points. You lost. And then let's say you did take the long setup, you won for 10 points. Well, guess what? Now you're down 50 points and you only won 10 points. So you're still, negative 40 points, and your win rate percentage is only like 33%. Horrible, right? Horrible. So to ask what the edge is going to do, it's pointless, because it's all how well can you manage your edge and how well are you analyzing where the edge is going. So for someone who's traded 30% win rate today and lost 40 handles, someone could have traded 2 trades today and won 20 handles. Or 30 handles if you held a runner and maybe took 15. Like, for example, Putz took 10 and 15. So maybe he took, whatever he took, 15 points, and someone else took no points, or got stopped out on the first play because they were looking for 50 points, and now they were scared to take the second trade. Well, they're at a 0% win rate, while Putz is over here taking 10 to 15 points at will, right, on his setups. So it's all comfortability, guys. Where do you feel comfortable? Where do you feel comfortable? And I would truly say right now, get comfortable with 10 to 15 points on the NQ. You get comfortable taking 10 to 15 points on the NQ, we can try to squeeze that out later. We can try to squeeze another 5 out later. We can try to squeeze in another micro contract, right? But let's just get consistent. Let's get consistent. Because the faster we get consistent to we're like, okay, cool, I'm cool with taking this, the better you can get at, sizing up. It's like for me right now, I'll use myself as an example. Right now, I can take, $1 on Tesla, because at 10 contracts, and those contracts are going to move 30 or 40 bucks. That's $300 or $400. I'll take that in 5-10 minutes all the time. I'm comfortable with that. Yeah. And you know, sometimes, you know, in the past, people said, well, you know, Tesla ran, you know, fucking 6 points today and you only took $1 off it. That's stupid. Well, I don't really care, because guess what? Tesla pays. Tesla doesn't just pay once a year. Tesla pays multiple times a week, right? We just come in here, we just keep picking it off, picking it off, picking it off. So when you start doing that weird stuff where you start trying to, you know, look at the end of the day and be like, well, NQ was up 40 points and you only made 15. Yeah, well, guess what? It wasn't an easy 40 points. It's not like you could have just bought anywhere, right? I don't care about that. I care about consistency. I want to get this as close to a salary as possible. I hope that makes sense. I don't want big home run trades. I don't. I mean, is it nice? Would I like to come in here and pop a trade for 10,000? Of course. But I'd rather come in here and make it consistent living. You know, mind you, I have freaking mortgage. I got freaking, you know, insurances to pay for. You know, you got food on the table. You got utility bills. You got, you know, vacations. You have all sorts of life that comes into this business, right? You got to pay your bills, right? You got to pay your bills. You got to make the money, right? You got to make the money. So if I can get this as close to a consistent salary as possible, I'm happy. Doing this than going out there and doing anything else. Again, that's not to get those of you guys who got good jobs, high paying jobs right now to say, fuck this, I'm going to go trade full time. I wouldn't say to do that. But if you do have the goal to do it full time, I will say 100% you can do it. You just need the foundation and you need the right amount of capital behind you. But I mean, imagine if you can come into this market and pick off 40, 50 grand. And let's say you make 100,000. Now you got 150. Let's say you make $150,000 a year. You can bump that up to 200,000. Guys, you can jump tax brackets. You can jump tax brackets if you just take these small and consistent wins. I'll tell you that right now. You want to retire one day? You want to make some money? You can do this on a day in and day out basis, right? You know, if you don't have some 401k or some retirement plan set up, some Roth, so you don't have nothing that you've been stashing away for the last 20 years, I guarantee you this: you're not going to get by too far on Social Security. I'll tell you that much right now, right? And by the time most of us here want to file for Social Security, we're not even going to know if there's going to be money in that pot for us to take, right? Who knows, right? Who knows with these guys? But if you want to come in here and make some money consistently, I can guarantee you that you can do that. That's not a problem. But it comes down to you. It comes down to your trading mentality. We're getting NVIDIA to start to pop here and test this 439, guys. But yeah, it is what it is. We're really getting this NVIDIA to start popping here towards this 20 SMA, guys. We're coming up on a new hourly candle. We're confirming previous hour candle on NVIDIA. If NVIDIA starts to pop the 439, guys, it could have room to stretch. It could take $1 off this thing, $1.50. Keep this on watch, guys. Keep the Qs on watch. The Qs are kind of just grinding higher, trending, right? We're trending since the last 20 SMA play over the 5 SMA. We do have support at 423, and we've got more support at 413. Keep those two levels in mind too if we pull back. Doesn't mean that they're short positions. Just let them pull back. Let us continue to trend higher. Again, the day's trend so far is up, green. So we should be kind of negating the short positions. If you're green on the day, you know, kind of stick with the trend. If you're break even on the day, kind of stick with the trend. And if you're at a loss on the day, you know, either consider analyzing that loss. Can you come back in tomorrow and recover that on one or two trades? You know, we don't want to blow ourselves out. But again, keep these levels on watch, guys. The NVIDIA I really love here. I really love it. Again, I gave you the reasons why, confirming over the 1 hour play. If we can get over this 20 SMA, we do have room to kind of run here. I'm going to go get a coffee. I'm parched. Long weekend, guys. My voice is a little shot still. Very, very thirsty right now. I've been talking for a couple of hours. So time to give my throat a little bit of a relaxation. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys this screen here. NVIDIA is the trade that I'm watching. Again, you know, full disclosure, you'll see gains being posted here if this thing starts to pop. Again, that's not saying to tail me or anything like that. Definitely you have to analyze that kind of stuff on your own. I don't want you guys to get blown out. But what I would want you guys to do is in 8 minutes, watch the next hour candle that prints. If we could start to take out this 20 SMA, all I'm saying is you might have room. The Qs, again, which is the NASDAQ, is grinding higher here. I'll be back in probably about 20-25 minutes. Let me get a quick break here. Let me get a little bit of a bump here on the coffee. A little bit of the coffee going here, and we'll take it from there, guys. I'll be back in just a little bit.